live, ladies and gentlemen. Who cares about the episode number or the show name or who?
What episode? It's been a lot of episodes. It's over 200.
238.
Jeez,
This is what I care about.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No, I mean that's a lot.
You really don't understand, and it can be for me at least. If I was sitting in your seat, it might even be a little bit uncomfortable for someone to like shower you in thanks. Like I always taken compliments hard, and I've always been hard to take compliments and all. But I don't. That's a bit of a tangent. I don't care if this makes you uncomfortable. You have a great mind and voice for this show.
Thank you. And I appreciate that.
Beyond just how great of a person you are,
showering me with praise. That's it.
Extremely grateful that you're here in the seat today.
I appreciate it. I like being back here. I like talking.
Because this is like this is like I created this because I needed something that like I liked.
Yeah.
Like school, work. I don't know, man.
Something to keep you going.
Yeah. So it's like thank you because I don't like the cameras or the podcast. I like the guests.
I gotcha. No, I mean, I get it. I go on Discord a lot, and the pure reason I do that is to meet people from different countries. I met a girl from like Denmark who was majoring in Latin studies, and then she moved over to archaeology, and she was telling me a bunch of the cool stuff she got to go see in the museums over there, like the Viking ships, stuff like that. And I got to meet, there's this one guy, Yassir from Morocco, and me and him just jam out, and he's from this ethnic minority called the Tuareg, who live like in the Sahara, have their own language, their own culture, and I knew about them before, but like just to kind of like meet somebody from that place and just be like, what's going on? What is going on? I mean, I've met people from like Kyrgyzstan, and no one ever thinks about Kyrgyzstan, but what is going on there? There's a lot of interesting stuff happening, and so like I get that, wanting to like, it's human connection. We talked about this last episode, or the last episode I was on, but humans want to connect. We want to be with other people and to talk, right? It's how we are.
I was on the phone with a friend of mine from high school before I came and found you at your place, and I'm like, dude, I've been wanting to have you on since episode 1. Like today's the day.
Yeah.
Like, come on, I'm free. I'm off work for the next 2 hours. Come to my place. You're awake. Get out of bed. It's noon. And he just wouldn't. Now, it was like he was budging. Like, I could feel it. He was like he asked me, like, what time, when?
Yeah.
And then he asked me, like, but he kept sticking to his no. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Then my phone died. And that's a very common, not my phone dying, but, like, people say no all the time. Now, I think as the episode numbers increase, I'm much more able to push.
Yeah.
And I relate to these dudes knocking doors because that's very pushy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to like. I saw this Instagram reel the other night that was like, if you do something over and over again, eventually it becomes reality.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be X, then if you just do X over and over, despite not feeling like you are X, eventually your mind catches up to your actual doings and you become X.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, like, right now, I like knowing that and believing that, I feel like episode 5,000 will be, like, a marker where I'll be like, damn, I really like, looking back, like, now I can say I have a podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then what's going to be next, I wonder, because once my feeling catches up and I feel like I have a podcast, because I don't think you can force feeling, necessarily, because the question might be, well, why can't you just think that now? I think that part of the reason that sometimes I get burnt out and this kind of thing frustrates me is because I try to, but I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I just can't until, like, I don't know. Like, a lot of things have to happen. I have to do it over and over again. I just don't think. But it's crazy because I remember being in episode 1 and being like, imagine 100 episodes. But I don't think that I thought that when I would get to 100, I would think that I was, a podcaster or anything. I think I would have just thought I was proud of being at 100, and I was when I got to 100. I was going to bed last night, and it's like covered. I didn't even realize it's covered by my bed now.
Yeah,
100. Like I didn't even think about that, but that was a big deal for me.
Oh yeah,
I called almost everybody in my family, and imagine 1,000.
That's a lot.
You could be on 1,000.
Hey,
you never know. I imagine it'll just be whoever texts me on that day.
Yeah,
No,
you got to just kind of go. I mean, I have a very similar feeling. When I came back, I'm doing a job as a soccer coach out in Durham for like little kids, and I don't play soccer. You know, it's not something I find super interesting. I have a team I root for, Tottenham, but I really never watched the games all that much. I played lacrosse when I was younger. I played basketball. My true love, like sport love, is fishing. I don't care what anybody says. It is a sport. But there is that like that insecurity of like, I don't know anything. And there are these people who are teaching who've been all over the United States, all over the globe, playing soccer in Italy, playing soccer in Spain. And I'm just here, you know, not knowing half the rules, right? And just feeling lost. But at a certain point, I'm not here to teach soccer. I'm here to teach because what my plan is once I get my bachelor's degree, I want to go and teach to kind of get that money for my doctorate. And so really it doesn't matter if I'm good at soccer as long as I can teach these kids what they need to know about the fundamentals. And you can teach, if you can teach one thing, you can teach anything. Teaching and learning are the same processes no matter what it is. But there is always that thing inside of me, kind of like to what you were saying, like I don't feel like I'm a soccer teacher, but I am, and I just kind of have to do it until you feel that way, right? And eventually you will. Eventually you will get to that point where it's like, I'm a podcaster, right? And kind of to what you were saying, you know, a lot of people tend to just kind of like throw emotion away and just be like, oh, that's just, it's needless, it's useless, I need to think logically. Emotions are there for a reason. When we get mad, there is something evolutionarily in us that, like, back in the day, some people came and stole your stuff. You getting mad is what gets you that motivation to get up and go get your stuff back and protect your family, right? These emotions, they're not just primal, they are real, they are effective. They get us to do what we need to do. Like when you feel that feeling of being hyped, right? That is a feeling, that is an emotion. And so that is important, right? And I think a lot of people tend to think like, oh, I can just like force myself to do this, but like there is that component of you just kind of have to let it come when it comes and feel that emotion when you feel it, and just you can't expect it, but it will come, and you just have to know it'll come eventually.
It's very interesting. I love conversation. Where do you think anger fits in? Because back in the day that makes sense.
Yeah.
But where do you think it fits in today? Because I don't think necessarily, I feel like getting angry at a person coming door to door doesn't necessarily fit, or I feel like there's got to be a better use for it, because I think like when you end up getting angry at like Mormons that come to your door, it's like you are trying to protect like your routine or your life like behind the door, I guess, to make a weird analogy, which makes sense. And I feel that like you could, like it adds up, and when I say it adds up, of course it adds up. It happened, like it happens.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what that necessarily means, but I just feel like if you could direct your anger, which you kind of can, I don't know,
of course, yeah,
because you reinforce it when you get angry, and then you're like, yeah, I was right to get angry. Then you're more likely to get angry at the same thing later on, because anger doesn't go away. You're always going to get angry. I just feel like you can kind of steer it. Like it depends on what
100%. Yeah,
what you're angry at. I think not forcefully, but like maybe I don't know, just like gently, like
redirect the energy.
So I wonder, where do you think that anger might be most useful, like today in like 2025, because we're all so intelligent and we all go to school and we all like have all these people in our lives and things that we do. Where does anger make sense? Does it make sense like maybe in a workout? I don't know, because if you get angry, maybe you're not going to get those true mind muscle, does it make sense? This is, I think, the conclusion that I've come to through talking. I don't think this is the right way to go about it. I don't think directing your anger at a certain instance is the way to go. It's more just accepting that it's going to come out. Yeah. And whatever you're practicing, it's good to have all emotions come out during practice, because that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
If you're training to run, like, maybe you do get angry one run and you end up running too hard and you roll your ankle. Well, that's like, you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
You got to.
Well, I think it's about getting angry at the right things. It's all about mindfulness, right? Mindfulness is the ibuprofen of the soul. It is the best medication you can use to improve your life. If you are mindful of where you are, where these emotions are coming from, and how you can better deal with them when they do come, that's the important part. Because like emotions are triggered. right? Like when somebody has like a PTSD attack, that is technically an emotion, right? It's a feeling, but it's triggered by something. So it's being mindful of those triggers, avoiding those triggers, just like addiction. Like let's say you're somebody who sits around and plays Xbox all the time and smokes weed. Well, if you don't want to smoke weed, a really good thing you can do, at least for the month, is instead of going playing Xbox, go on a run, go do something that's going to not trigger that, right? I think anger can be valuable in some circumstances. Like you said, we're all intelligent, but that doesn't mean we're all kind or all good people. And there are going to be people who not necessarily want to fuck you over, but they just want to, they're looking out for themselves, because we're all number one to ourselves, right? And I think at a certain point, especially for someone like me who is so conflict avoidant, I do need that anger to get me up and motivate me to advocate for myself. But there's a big difference of me saying, I'm going to direct this anger in a positive way. I'm going to talk it out. I'm going to ride it through. And then once I've ridden that anger through, I can figure out what parts of that were me overreacting, what parts of this were me just being mindful about the whole process. And then I can go and like talk to that person and say, hey, I don't like this. Hey, this is what needs to happen. But it's all about being mindful. That's the key. It's the ibuprofen of the soul, being mindful.
Being mindful is difficult.
And that's all of what Buddhism is. That's what those monks are doing. It's mindfulness. It's being mindful of where are you in life. There's this one guy I like to listen to. His name is Dr. K. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a trained psychiatrist, and he's also a Buddhist. And he was having a lot of trouble because one of the biggest things with Buddhism is kind of that detachment from the world and being mindful that these worldly things can't really help us in our path to spirituality. That is completely within our own. So we need to detach ourselves from the world. But he had kids. And how do you detach yourself from your kids? And then he had the biggest revelation of all. I need to detach myself from the idea that I'm going to detach myself from everything, because that's just not going to happen. And so that's the being mindfulness of it, it's hard. It's really hard to come to these conclusions and to think about it. And it takes effort, just like it's mental work, right? When you're sitting there and doing a task and being mindful about it, it's a lot of times a lot harder than just going in and doing it, right? But no one ever said that improvement is going to be easy, right?
Thinking about stuff can go forever. And there's so many instances where I'm like, I gotta avoid this because I think too hard about it, but maybe that's not necessarily true. One in particular, but I didn't say I had to avoid this. When there was that car crash yesterday, we went out, and this is a little bit like I'm gonna figure this one out as I go. I'm standing on the other side. So we walk out, see the car crash, and I'm immediately like, I'm going to get as close to this as possible. It's kind of a traumatic experience. No one was bleeding. No one was...
It's still traumatic, though. Yeah,
you saw those cars.
Oh, yeah. They were mangled. That was a bad wreck, yeah.
There was one guy who was limping, but like, you take a deep breath, realize that like you probably have one of the lower amounts of adrenaline out of all the people in the situation, because we didn't even see, we just heard it. Now there are witnesses and the people in the car crash, and I'd say those people are probably most susceptible to, it's almost like you're drunk. Like you can't even I was speaking to one of the victims because I got up so close, and he was like, oh, thanks for coming up. I'm like, what are you thanking me for? Like, dude, I don't think he's gonna remember any of the conversations he had. But I walked over, and I'm looking at the car crash, and I'm like, this is so awesome. And then I look back across the street at my roommates, and they're hesitant to come that close. And I had to like wave them over. I really wanted them to see. And I think that I was being mindful in that situation, because it's like, I don't even know what I'm saying necessarily, but it's like, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm getting a little bit lost here, but I find what you were saying very, very very interesting. You got to think about what you're doing, and thinking about what you're doing sometimes comes down to thinking about what you're thinking. Most times, all the times, and then you start to feel crazy. But it's like, that's not like, just because you're on a hike and your legs start to get tired, it doesn't mean a hike was a bad idea. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like. There we go. I found something to grip onto. That was a good string of words I just said. At work, everywhere, at school, with the girlfriend, with your roommates, at a podcast, you really have to make sure you're constantly evaluating yourself if the goal is
improvement,
to be happy. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, It doesn't matter what you're doing. And I think a lot of times you could compare a dude going about his normal job and routine to a dude smoking weed on the couch playing Xbox, because both of those guys can, not saying they both do all the time, but like just like the guy on the couch, the guy at work going home can also have his mind shut off.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe, I don't know, it's maybe like, I don't know. Maybe you need to have I feel sometimes in long-term relationships, actually, you'll see one of the partners, or maybe even both of the partners, they get very comfortable with the shutting of the mind off. And I wonder actually if that is a good thing or a bad thing. I guess it's just situational, but that's something that I think about where people were like, how would that? Because that's in like direct relation to one other person that you're in a relationship with. I see a lot of stuff, and I'm very inclined to make the next relationship that I find myself in a successful one, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Just like I've never had a relationship that I thought that I want this to be unsuccessful, but like I'm trying to put more mind towards it than ever before. And that's not like I don't mean to tip any sort of scales, but I'm like trying to slowly build towards some kind of version of myself that is able to kind of get past what I wasn't able to get past in previous instances. And I wonder what is, what like how to train your mind to be able to sit there, because I think it comes out a lot, the urge to just kind of go in bypass mode when a woman is around you. And I don't mean to word that way. It's same for women and men. I think it's very easy, when you're around someone all the time, someone that like, it's just like you can very easily make it like they're not even there, honestly. Even if that's not your intention, the whole point of a relationship is a partner. Well, I wouldn't be so matter of fact in saying this, but I think everybody wants to be seen, even if they don't admit it to themselves.
Of course, yeah.
Because your parents are gonna die. Yeah. Your siblings have their own lives. Yeah. And societally, like the partner, the man and the woman, I feel like serves the purpose of I don't know, man. It does feel right that's in place. Yeah. And like I said, it's weird to say things feel right, because of course they feel right. This is what they are. Yeah. Like I feel like if there was aliens that came and delivered us milk from Saturn, it would feel right, because that's just kind of what would be happening. Yeah. Which begs the question, is a relationship even like, should I explore polyamory? These are the things you can really say crazy things to a mic, and with this platform in particular, it gets wild because you don't know. You ever see this guy Nick Fuentes?
Yes, I've seen Nick Fuentes.
Oh my god, yes. Is he the greatest of all time?
You think he's the greatest of all time?
You just hate the guy?
I hate his guts. He's like my least favorite human being. I hate him.
All right, tell me why.
I mean, I just don't agree with his views on Jewish people. I think there is a broken clock is right twice a day. I'm not a huge fan of Israel itself, but from what I've heard, he's definitely like a race scientist kind of guy. So he believes that like white people and black people really can't work together. That black people are inherently like inferior to white people. And I just don't get on board with all that kind of stuff. Well, it's because, as somebody who's like worked with kids recently, and somebody who like my niece is mixed, right? Like I just don't notice any difference in her abilities. I think he's a very charismatic guy, but I think he's also a really big liar. And he's the kind of guy who is going to get where he wants no matter what it takes. I mean, he's talking about deporting people. His name is Fuentes. He's Mexican. Right, like he just lies through his teeth to get whatever he wants, and I just don't really like that. But in terms, I'll give credit where credit's due. He's a very charismatic person, and he's said a few things that have given me a chuckle. But I vehemently disagree with him,
dude. Earlier you said you're scared of conflict, so I want to say that I think one of the biggest pros of guests on this show is I get to sit here and work my hardest to change my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. Change. If you're not changing your mind, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because I grew up very conservative. I still hold a lot of my conservative values and my conservative thinking, but I've also changed on a lot of things, and I don't think the way that I used to about certain things. Like I'm still pro-gun. We talked about this last time. I'm relatively pro-life, but I'm not anti-choice. And so I think that like life is just kind of like figuring out where people are. Just kind of figuring, again, if you're not changing, if you're not learning, then you're not really doing anything. You're just sitting there stagnant like a bog, like a swamp, right? You got to keep that water moving, keep that water flowing. It doesn't mean you have to change all your ideas, but I think you should always be open to every idea, right? And you should always give everything a try. Like I've been on so many different tangents. When I was in high school, I got really high on the communist train, and I was like, yeah, communism, and I was like, and now I've mellowed out to more of a liberal thing. I had like a little religious revival when I moved down to the coast, and I ended up joining a Greek Orthodox church, which was a very interesting experience. But I think that at the end of the day, it makes me more confident in what I believe because I've been able to like clash those ideas in my head, and I think the best ones have come out.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I can think back and like all phases.
Yeah.
Would you define them as phases?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine were more like, how do I say this? Like things necessarily. They weren't so much like groups or they were.
Mm-hmm.
They were. Like when I was really young, I was like, I'm going to be a professional soccer player.
Yeah.
And that just didn't last.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought I was going to be a tattoo artist.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't happen. I thought that I was going to be I rode motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
I had 6 motorcycles, 3 at one time. I thought that like I was just going to ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. And it's like, yeah, I stayed away from religion. And I also stayed away from like political ideology.
Really?
Yeah. So I feel like
those are my two favorite. Those are my two favorite things to talk about of all time.
So I feel like I'm able to skip that kind of like because I have a different like
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just for me. I kind of came to the realization that like, for me, I like history, and history is essentially just religion and politics, but like long term. And I think history and politics are just kind of like religion and politics are just kind of what people do. Right? We have this need for, I feel like a lot of people have that need for something higher, and to something to like kind of devote their life to. And I personally believe in God, but I feel, so my view on God is very different than most people. I believe that believing in God and not believing in God are just as illogical as each other, because we look around at everything and something has to come from something. Right?
There's a very good way to say it. I like that a lot.
Everything has to come from something. And so either we can sit here and say that the universe has to come from nothing, or that God has to come from nothing. Either way, both of those are illogical. And personally, I've made the choice to believe in God because I look at the world around me and I see something that was crafted. But at the end of the day, that is illogical because I'm proposing that something came from nothing. So I think that atheism and theism are fundamentally both illogical, but you just kind of like pick your side and pick what makes the most sense to you.
Isn't it so shattering that we just don't know?
Yeah, we don't.
But if we knew, then what?
Well, I think because with my religious thought is that is the point, so I believe in reincarnation. I believe that we essentially, when we die, our soul goes back up into like a spirit world. I don't know the exact way to describe it, but essentially you have your spiritual aspect and you have your physical aspect.
Right.
We live these lives to go and learn the truth that we need to learn. Like if you have a 4-year-old that dies of cancer, it's a horrible thing, right?
Ooh, yeah.
But she was sent there in this life to learn what it means to lose love at such an early age.
I'm gonna get a daughter. If I ever have a daughter, I'm gonna name her Charlotte.
Really, Charlotte? That's good. I like the name Savannah.
Do you aspire to have a family?
Oh, of course.
Wouldn't it be great for? Don't you think if your dad did something like this when he was our age?
Yeah, let's show it.
Wouldn't you love to watch that?
For sure, yeah.
Like if he came on he had a couple guest appearances on a show. Oh my god, I would sit there like with like my thumb in my mouth and watch it over and over again. Yeah. Because it's like dads especially, I feel, are such a mystery.
Yeah.
At least if you're a son.
Oh, for sure.
And it's like moms too. It's all mysterious. It's like, what was really going on?
Yeah.
I remember there's like certain instances. I don't mean to. I kind of just interrupted. I got sidetracked because I had to swap the camera. But I know what you were saying. I think that's important to me. Hold on. This is a very interesting way to think about it.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting way to think about it. Because if there's something, that means it had to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
But we just kind of, the science of the Big Bang has so many small pockets. It's like you have upper level classes at universities that will teach about just this 0.000 of a second after the Big Bang. And it's like, okay, but there's not a single class that talks about before. Well, there's religious classes, but it's never. And then you start to think, well, how true? Like how come the division between religion and science seems to be so like a line? Because anywhere else I look, there's not. I'm able to break that line down so easily. I could break it down for religion too. You know, my chemistry teacher was just getting into like the standards for measurement, and I'm like, well, I mean, so you're telling me it's just a cylinder of tungsten in the United Kingdom and New York City that as long as they both weigh the same, that's what a kilogram is?
Yeah.
And in recent years, they haven't. And a second is just the amount of times a certain atom vibrates. And you're just telling me that we know for a fact that number of vibrations is the exact same everywhere.
Yeah.
How can we know?
Well, it's I think that, so something that made me like kind of come away from Christianity is, and especially the Abrahamic faiths, is I believe that we can use religion to understand, or science to understand religion. I think you have to have both. And so, lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I'm a horrible.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
On one day and we'll have a team.
Yeah, I got you.
Barking at them.
You go over there. You do this. You do that.
Fucking Jamie. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
You always gotta have a Jamie. Jamie's gonna be the first person you get. Somebody on the back to like look stuff up on a laptop. Jamie,
I can't wait.
Can you fact check that?
Because I feel like it's not gonna work until I can actually pay the guy. You know what I'm saying? And I just can't right now. You were talking about how everything began, and maybe that's what I was talking about.
Well, because this is part of the, this might be a side tangent, but this is the part of the thing with being mindful is like, I'm very mindful that my proof of God is inherently illogical. I look around and I see a world that was created for me, but a puddle of water looks around and says, man, this pothole in the street was perfectly made for me. It must have been made for me, but it wasn't made for that puddle of water. The puddle of water fit that, right? And so maybe it's our minds that are fitting this and saying that this is God. I don't know. And I think that's where you ultimately just kind of have to choose what you believe. And I believe that I would like to believe that if there is a God, that they are good and they are understanding and they understand where we're coming from. And it's more about the intent rather than than like getting it all right. Like I was talking to them when they came up to my door, like, how do I view sin? I don't view sin as like an offense against God. Like simply, it's stumbling, it's falling down. You fall down, you scrape your knee, and you can either sit there on the floor and not keep walking forward, or you can choose to pick yourself up, get on with it, and just kind of keep going and say that, like, I might fall again. I'm probably going to fall 20 more times, but I'm not going to kick this unless I keep walking and unless I keep going for it. I view God, and the best way I can think about it is I view God and life like a hike. Like we are all on this trail up a mountain, and that very few people reach the mountain. I don't believe what Buddhists believe, where you can attain enlightenment within one lifetime. I believe that no one ever reaches the top of the mountain. But sometimes you're placed a little bit far up the mountain. Sometimes you're placed a little bit farther down. And with the kind of confluence of all our past lives and this truth, we can understand the truth and understand the knowledge and get the full mountain. And I think that's what enlightenment is. And whether or not that is we're going to go to nirvana, or we're going to go to heaven, or maybe the cycle just continues. I don't know, but that's what I've parsed out so far. That's what I can come up with.
It's a good way of living.
Yeah.
That ideology probably landed you in such an awesome and impacting position as a soccer coach for kids.
Maybe. It's just about keeping going, and like just being grounded, being mindful, realizing your place within the universe and your place within it. And that's hard. Sometimes you don't know your place. Sometimes you're like, man, I don't feel like I'm here, but you just kind of have to keep on, and like you're going to stumble. Everyone's going to stumble. So you can't sit there and wallow on it, right? Life's crazy.
Yeah. I feel like I'm having a moment.
I gotcha.
Trying to soak it in here.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to soak it in. I feel like lately I've been just trying to get it all right. But right is just the subjective thing is what I'm thinking.
Exactly. But you gotta detach yourself from that. You have to understand, you have to aim for perfection with the knowledge that you're never going to reach it. And that is okay, right? It's again like what Dr. K was talking about, where you have to detach yourself from the idea of detachment. You know, we have to continue and to strive to be perfect with the understanding that we are not going to be perfect. And when we do fail, we need to be kind, but like that teacher who was kind but strict. That's how we need to be with ourselves. And we need to be kind and give ourselves room to improve, but not let this continue to be a thing that keeps happening, right? And so be mindful with the understanding that there are going to be days where you don't feel like doing it. And sometimes the right choice is just not doing it, right? Sometimes you do need to give yourself that time. But I think that's kind of what life is on that trail. You're picking the next step. Is this the right step? Is this the wrong step? And sometimes you're going to step in front of a rock and fall, right? And I think that when you try and when you believe that you can be perfect, you're going to keep running into rocks, and it's going to make it so much harder to forgive yourself and to be that person you need to be for yourself.
How did you become this guy that can speak to speak like this? Because I have a lot of guests on.
Yeah.
I feel how do I say this, right? Because I feel like the theme of this episode is to be so conscious and think about what you're doing. And this podcast is like very much what I do. So I want to say the right combinations of words. But I'm going to let that go for just a second just to get my point across. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, my roommate, he barely said anything the whole show.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love to have him on. Mm-hmm. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Having someone there, I'd talk for the whole episode solo. It makes a big difference, even if you just sit there and occasionally say, yeah, loved it. But there's such a difference between him and you. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if my goal is to like figure out why. I more just want to like, yeah, that's my precursor to the question I just asked. Mm-hmm. How did you become who you are?
I just like to think, and when you think, you like to tell people about what you're thinking, and it just kind of goes on and on and on. And I've thought a lot about these kind of like big topics. I don't know what really made me like this. I've always just kind of liked these big questions. I was telling them the reason I got into history is because I loved dinosaurs when I was younger. And I went up and I asked my dad, I was like, hey, Dad, Jesus, when was Jesus born? And he was like, oh, he was born 0. I was like, well, was that after the dinosaurs? He was like, yeah, it was way after. And I was like, well, how did the dinosaurs get to heaven? How does that make any sense? And, you know, for a little kid, that seems silly, but like that is like a big question. And I've just always been somebody who likes to ask those big questions. Why not? Because if you're not asking big questions, then like, for me personally, it's just why talk about things that are frivolous and don't mean anything? I rather talk about things that are really important and like that I kind of find interesting because I don't know, I just like important things. But like, so
maybe you asked, it's about the question you asked because someone else might ask why talk at all.
Yeah.
But you've somehow like circumnavigated that question entirely and you're asking yourself, what should I talk about? So it's almost like inherent within you. How do you think you became, it came to be that you don't even think about whether or not you should talk. It's more about what you should talk about.
I don't know.
The answer is just, you're going to talk.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a podcast. What's the point of a podcast if not to talk? But I feel like some people,
Tell me about it.
Yeah, right? I feel like, so, and I don't say this, like, so genius is compartmentalized. And I'm not calling myself a genius. I think that everyone is a genius in some way, shape, or form, right? When you have some kid out there, because I know there's some kid in a middle school around here who can tell you every single type of shoe there is and knows the exact stitching. He can say those are Jordan 1s, but those are fake and they were made in Taiwan because the stitching's off and I've seen them before. That is genius, right? And so I think some people enjoy talking and enjoy expressing their genius that way, and some people enjoy talking about other things, but some people just don't really like talking. There's just different ways to express things, and I've always liked to talk. I got ADHD. My dad has it. My family's a very talkative family, so I just kind of learned to talk.
I've always thought of myself as someone that can talk. Like, this made a lot of sense like it started as like vlogging. I wanted to push myself out there, and I kept on leaning towards like you just talk to the camera. Are there other ways? Yeah, probably. And I'm trying to think. This is my vision lately. I have this idea bucket. I need more accounts. I need an account where I read a page. So there's things that I do every day that aren't filmed, and I need to film it all. That's kind of like how I see this going.
Well, I would just say I think that kind of circles back to I feel like you're a little bit too attached to getting it right and filming every single point. Because like, you know, I think you got to think about it. Like, let's say you were doing something like a get ready with me, right? I feel like most people don't like the get readies with me because it's get ready with me. They like it because of the person who's doing it, and they already have to have that connection. I'm not a YouTuber, but this would be my advice. I'd say stick with what you really know you're good at. Build that audience up on a few channels, and then once they start coming for you, then you can start doing stuff like that, and then you'll start seeing more stuff kind of happen with the like the freestyling you do, and they'll start saying like, oh, what's this channel, I streamed for a little bit, and I think that's kind of what I learned with that. You want to build up your initial following with one thing, so that, because here's the thing, you're going to build up this following through, let's say you like really focus on podcasts. Well, they're coming for podcasts, right? And so when you do something else, it might not necessarily transfer over, but once you get that big enough like core of followers, then you will start getting those people going off in every which way. It's not going to be as many, but it kind of gives you a home base. You know what I mean? My thinking of it is, I think I'm disagreeing with you. Okay.
Because I don't think it serves you or someone that would be trying to make it on the internet to be sort of thinking about the next step before thinking about what's happening right now. I see a lot of people say that sort of thing. Like, first do this, then do this. And I try my best because I do this every single day, and that creates its own challenge. I mean, lately in recent months, I'd say I got a good hang of it, but I know, dude, it could change on a dime. On a certain day, it could just become impossible. Of course. And it's like you have to put past that and make it possible. I like to leverage, or at least think that I'm leveraging, the platform itself. So you have these insane algorithms, right? And I feel that again and again and again showing up is my sort of leverage. I don't find leverage in like, I have this big audience and then I can do. I think when it comes to what the audience is attached to, I'm not interested in anybody that is clicking subscribe for anything that I do. They're all clicking for me. So, I wouldn't, I did just transition my main YouTube account, and it's coming up on 1,000 subscribers. I got rid of the vlogs. I got rid of the shorts that weren't anything. It's all podcasts now. And that was, that's still playing out. It is what it is. I don't plan on doing that again anytime soon. I want to keep the channels to the channels, but they're all connected with the hashtag jackkadis. And I think there could be more channels, because this is the way that I think of it, right? I think of it like, even if I had 10,000 subscribers and 1,000 views per podcast, which I think is coming, it's inevitable. I think, honestly, I'm going to surpass. I picture myself with I think that 1 million to 10 million, somewhere in that range, is where I'm going to comfortably sit. There's going to be I think there's just going to be a lot of different catalysts, a lot of different breaks that are just going to the internet can be a crazy place.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I don't think of it as I try not to think of it as I'm in the casino gambling. I'm getting off track here because it excites me. I'm not really saying anything of purpose. But my point is that all the facets, it's if you have the idea for them, and it's if I want to make a channel just for running, if I want to make a channel just for I read a page of my book every day to the camera, if I want to make a channel just for what I learned at school, then it's now is the time to do that. I moved my vlogs, which were the vlogs is what started everything. I wanted to be like Casey Neistat. I wanted to be a Casey Neistat. I still do. Who doesn't want to be Casey Neistat? Love the guy to death. Look at this room. Don't you see him in this room? So I was making stuff, and that was in my mind. and now it doesn't even go on the channel that I created for that anymore. It goes to a second. It's called the JLK show. It's like a show. jackkadis show, and it gets 1 view a video. Might be me viewing that. I'm not sure because I have to like click and make sure that the link works. Could be 0 views, but I used to get 0 views on what I put on this channel, and dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. Now I'm very much in this battle where it's like I really got to get the numbers up. And I think people often write off social media numbers, but just like a job and getting paid, I swear it's a direct correlation between consistency and quality and people that watch what you do. So it's a very, very big undertaking every day to be like, okay, it's not about like my wildest fantasies and dreams. It's about right now, getting it done today. And you have to like separate the two. It's like, this is my job.
For sure.
Like, people are out there. There's like at least 1 or 2 people that probably watch this, and like I ain't gonna stop. I don't even know what you said to get me to talk about this. I
don't remember either. I'm just keeping on going.
Man, I want it to work so bad.
Well, that's the whole thing. You know, everything comes back to attachment, right? It's that like I really want to be a world famous archaeologist who goes out and like finds the truth, or like I want to be like a biblical scholar who like has books written and like everyone reads them, and I have like this like YouTube channel where I can talk about these things. But like it's like when you're building something, I have the plan and I should go through the plan, right? But at the moment, I got to focus on, like, let's say I'm building a deck. I got to focus on putting this stud in. I got to focus on setting the concrete, right? And you should, to some extent, you know, make sure you're doing that right. Be mindful of that so that the other pieces aren't going to fall down on itself, but you can't think about too much about the other things. It's about finding that balance within your thinking. It's the understanding that we need to strive to be perfect, but we'll never reach that. And you just go from there, right?
I don't want to go to my job. This is way better than
I mean, it's, you know, do what you love, right? I'm somebody who because my whole thing is that, you know, a lot of people say do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I think that's horseshit. Do what you love and you'll work harder than anybody else, right? Look at you with all this equipment here, right? You're doing what you love and you're working harder than anybody else I've seen. I've heard so many people. I've wanted to make so many YouTube channels, right?
Yeah, but dude, like everybody has tried it.
But you're doing it.
Everybody's tried
right? You've taken that first step, and even like just the stuff you've bought, like the quality of it, you've already gone above and beyond. Because you have to remember, I don't know the exact statistic, but there's like hours and hours and hours of footage uploaded to YouTube every single day. Second, yeah. I
think it's around 100,000 hours a second.
Yeah, it's crazy,
maybe
right?
More than that.
It might even be.
It's actually staggering. I don't know if
Jamie, can we look that up? Yeah. Jamie, can we?
How many seconds? How many hours of media uploaded per second? Something crazy. 6 hours of video upload every second. Excuse me.
That's still a lot of time.
Damn, I way overdid that.
Yeah. But that's still a lot. Feels like. No, that's what it feels like for sure. But it's how many videos have you come across in the algorithm that are just like bad? And it's just some kid talking to his puppets or something, and he thinks this is the funniest thing ever on like YouTube Shorts, right? You're already above a lot of these people. And again, a lot of people can't even say if they've reached 1,000, right? 1,000 is when you're able to monetize your channal.
No, actually.
Really?
Yeah, look, it's perpetually far away. I will be fighting to get monetized for the next year, maybe 2 years. The way that they make it so the reason that it's so hard is because this is monetization is the second step. Getting partnered is the first step.
Yeah.
And getting partnered allows you have memberships. I even had a comment recently that was like, why don't you have memberships turned on? So that
There
insights
you
that
go. There
maybe
you
he
go,
would have
yeah.
donated.
Yeah.
It's that little thanks button next to the subscribe button. And that could go a long way for me. I think if I had memberships, say I got like $30 a month, I would just pay my podcast guests.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to give money to the people that come on the
even
show.
think about it. Let's say you get...
I'm in debt to you. I will pay you that money. So
No, I already said... You already got us the bottle of wine. You're good, dude. You're good.
it wasn't even my bottle of wine. It's my roommate's bottle of wine. He left here for a year.
It's still good wine. We got drunk as shit with it. So, I mean...
I'm in debt.
You gave us a good night.
Last 365 days. That's where they get you. So it's not the subscriber amount. To get the memberships, it's just 500. And this the same 4,000. It's watch time hours. And it has to be 3,000 in the last year.
Yeah.
So if you go to my watch time hours in the last year, you see that there was like this big spike. And I think these lines are very representative of how passionate I was.
Yeah.
Because you talk about, we talked about like, if you say you are something, you become something.
Yeah.
And I feel like around this area, I was just so avid about how I was a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, like, because I got to get back to that. I don't think like the quality here is better than the quality here.
Yeah.
The consistency here is better than the consistency here. I mean, I've learned more. I'm a better YouTuber. I've been doing it longer. I just need to start looking in the mirror every day, and I might make a separate channel just for me to stand in the camera and say, today I did a podcast. Today I did 3 Instagram Reels, 3 TikToks, and 3 YouTube Shorts, and I freestyled, and this is what the views got, and I am on social media. I also have a successful podcast. I need to just say it out loud.
Do you have a link tree?
No, I don't have a link.
You should get a link tree.
It was corny.
Really?
Yeah, but
that's such a good way to like get people clicking and going to multiple different things, especially if you have like different channels. Then they can click, because the link tree is like everyone sees that and they're like, oh, okay, click it. You got all these different channels, and it can kind of be like your hub where you can connect all your channels together, so that when they do, because like if you have a lot of different channels that are kind of like unrelated, and then sometimes you'll get that like related channels on the side or whatever, but like no one really looks over at that. They just want to see what they want to see. But you can always say in like, oh, check the link tree down below if you like my content. Just every episode, right?
I don't know why I just like put like live streaming. I just like don't think about it. Linktree, don't think about it. Like, I don't know why, but also there's been things that I have not thought about that I slowly started to think about, and then it ends up being a cornerstone of what I do. Short form stuff.
Yeah.
Never cared for it. Never wanted it. Never.
Yeah.
But now I make it every day. So I'm thinking I'm going to start thinking about a Linktree.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah.
What do you think about this idea? What if I had Instagram just introduced reposting?
Oh yeah, that stuff's really cool.
Did you
I like
see
that. Yeah.
Although sometimes you accidentally click it. It's so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to repost. I don't like comment. I don't do any of that stuff on anything ever. What if I had whatever. These are like internal ideas I need to write down on the basket. But yeah, that's where I'm sitting. It's and we've passed. It's gonna be because it's like you get stressed because it's like the watch time hours have gotten so low. You see how like this graph is moving this way.
Yeah.
So these spikes are gonna fall off, and basically it's gonna feel like when you look at this number right here, it's gonna drop. Even though I'm showing up every day, it's gonna say I'm getting further away.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks, but I think it just takes years to build, and I'm not gonna let that stop what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let it it's either I add or I stay. There's no going backwards.
Yeah.
Not letting the numbers tell me what I am. That's why I think it's important that I got a lot of ideas. I need more social media accounts. I need more social media accounts.
I gotcha.
I need more social media accounts.
That's the moral of the story.
It's crazy, man. They're free to open.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're free. I feel like I've found this hack that no one it makes sense everyone's tried this out because it's free to upload.
Yeah.
They want you to upload. They get more data.
Yeah.
They become a better valued company.
Yeah.
Because they don't be mistaken. Whatever social media platform you're on, the transcript of whatever you say in your video is saved under your account.
Oh yeah.
You have keywords.
Yeah.
You exist as a number. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Personally,
I don't think it should be like that in all aspects, but that's kind of I feel like that's definitely the point we've gotten to in this country, like in everything.
Yeah, it's just the way that it's gone. Like data, like all these new startups that you're seeing, they all are like data based.
Oh yeah.
So this one guy made a great pitch. He was like, "We pay you to upload your photos to our cloud." It's like, that's genius.
Yeah.
It's like cutting out so many middlemen.
Yeah.
Like, that's so genius.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to share it. Like, a lot of people, the barrier is like, I don't want people to find this, but I would love money in exchange for my photos. I don't care if like some big company has them.
Yeah.
You know, which is such a weird thing. Like, there's a market for that. Like, they're going to get people uploading their photo. It's like probably like 1-2 cents per photo or something. And that's going to exponentially increase the efficiency and effectiveness of these image generating AIs.
Yeah.
So crazy.
There's always a market. There's always something that there's always a niche there's always a vacuum that's pulling people in. And it's just, you got to find the right thing that like you get sucked into. And because there's people that like, because again, if you do what you love, you won't work a day in your life. A lot of these people love what they do. And so it's a lot easier to come up with ideas because they're thinking about it, right? With somebody like me, part of the reason I went into archaeology is because I love history, but archaeology is not my main love. It's purely history. Archaeology is like the science behind it, right? Which is fine. But when I get off work, that's what I like to think about. I like to go home, watch history videos, start thinking about that. And so it helps me in my career because it just allows me to kind of like keep thinking and keep that train going, right? So I think it's always that vacuum. There's always a vacuum that are pulling people in, and it's just, you got to find where you fit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, it's a big thing. Also, a big thing that I think will sort of define these early years for me in this industry is, you know, recently I think one of the biggest things affecting this number, now that I'm thinking about this with you, is that I've like around here, honestly, I think I started calling this a hobby.
I gotcha.
Which makes sense, because I have other like I have to go to work, I have school now.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to be like, I'm doing 3 different things full time. Well, 2 different things full time.
For sure.
It's terrifying to say.
Yeah.
Because people say you can't do that. People say you cannot do that. People say you can't do that. But I think I think if they were to write, dude, I probably sound ridiculous. I don't necessarily care.
Yeah.
If they were to do like and I want to ask what you think about this, and your, like, if someone were to write or shoot a documentary about like what it means to be you, and like there was an actor playing you in your early years, what would be the big, because I feel like for me a big thing would be like that vacuum isn't there for me. It's there, but it's like self-induced.
Yeah.
I only have one friend that does social media, and he is only available to me through Discord. Discord's a great platform and all, but I have so much going on off of Discord. Maybe it is there.
Yeah. I think there definitely is. It's how I envision it. I always love metaphors and kind of like illustrating my thoughts. It's like, you know, you have this wall of these people and these like this rock wall of like people's like the outline of people cut out, right? And sometimes where you're born is halfway down the wall from where you're meant to be, right? A lot of people don't reach their, you know, I'm 22 and I'm going into my undergrad, right? I have half of it done, but I went and I had a different path than a lot of people. I thought my vacuum was nursing, and it just kind of wasn't. And I got a really lucky break. My one of my best friends, he's the guy who commented that he knows me. He's a Navy nuke. Yeah.
I was wondering if that was Paul.
No, that's not Paul. That's my friend Brady.
Well, Brady. Yo, let's get a phone number exchange.
Yeah.
I was staring at that comment so long, like desperately trying to get my fingers to type my phone number out.
No, I can get you his phone number.
But it's not a good idea to just post your phone number.
No, for sure.
But I was like, I've done tons of not good ideas before. Like, I really wanted, because I did reply. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brady, does he live here?
No, he lives in South Carolina, so he'll have to do it over Discord. But like,
we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
We'll do it over Discord.
He can show his face and everything. I don't know, because he is doing a lot to classified things.
Well, dude, you can put sunglasses on and a mask. That you wouldn't be the first person.
Well, he's in the barracks. His chief would find out and chew.
That's wicked. Brady.
Also, they can go on and see everything that everybody's doing in the complex. So if he's on Discord with you and they're talking, they can hear. The military can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, Brady. This is what I'll say. I have been snuck into Virginia Military Institute's barracks before. I spent 2 nights there. And I would like to extend my podcast to you if you think, and I have this feeling that you just might. What's a Navy nuke?
So nuclear powered. So our arsenal of submarines and aircraft carriers are completely nuclear powered, and so there's 3 different types. I don't know them all, but there's nuclear machinist mate, there's a nuclear electrician, and there's someone else. I don't know. Nuclear machinist mate are the people who go in and deal with like the actual mechanics of the nuclear reactor. He's doing electrician's mate. So essentially what that means is he's dealing with all the electronics in the nuclear reactor. And so he wants to go on a sub, which means he basically just kind of sits on the sub, and he's like he keeps the engine running, essentially. He's the mechanic that keeps it going. And it's really complicated, but he's a smart guy, and I think he's got it.
All right, well, let's see how smart you really are, Brady. If you want to sneak me in, we'll do the podcast there. Here's the enticing part about it. It's not connected to the internet. We don't do it live. So if you think you could make it happen undetected, I would love to take off work for the weekend and sneak into some more barracks, because I had a great time at Virginia. A great time. I wonder if his... Are they? Is it a school? Is he at a school?
Yeah, it's a joint like Navy Air Force base.
What's it called?
I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's right outside of Charleston. It's like,
oh my God,
Goose
that's
Creek.
a huge.
Yeah,
that's what's it called? We should know this.
It's in Goose Creek. That's all I know. I don't know the name.
What's
of the base.
the name of that one? Because that one is massive.
No, it's huge. Well, it's because it's a joint base. It's Air Force and Navy.
I mean, Charleston is a crazy place.
I love Charleston.
You see that beautiful bridge that goes into Charleston, and then there are these cargo ships.
Oh yeah,
it's rare to see that kind of thing.
Well, it's the biggest. It was historically the biggest port in the Southeast. So that's actually something really interesting. Back when it was Carolina, just one Carolina, Charleston was the main port and kind of continued to be the main port, and it still is to this day. North Carolina has no major ports, and our only semi-major port is off of Wilmington, because the Outer Banks are just so difficult to get in and out through. I used to live near Morehead City Port, and it's not a big port by any means. It's you might see 1 or 2 small cargo ships going in, but no, Charleston, it's crazy because you see them going up the rivers and stuff. It's same with Savannah, if you've ever been down there.
I have not been to Savannah, but is it Fort Jackson?
Maybe. That sounds about right.
No, that's Columbia. I think it's just called Joint Base Charleston.
I think that, yeah.
Does that sound right?
That sounds about right.
I think it's just called Joint Base Charleston because, yeah, it looks like Naval Weapons Station, Joint Base Charleston, South Carolina Army. I think it's Joint Base Charleston.
Yeah. I don't know exactly which one it is.
Man, South Carolina is behind on infrastructure. Those roads are bumpy.
Now, I heard something where they're trying to do I don't know how real this was, but I heard something where the government wants to get out-of-towners to pitch in and help pay for the roads.
Oh my god.
Which I love North Carolina, I love South Carolina, but South Carolina is our drunk cousin that just does not have their shit together.
Dude, you cross that border and it's fireworks. Yeah, it's what the fuck are we doing here?
South of the border, what are we doing? What are we doing here, dude?
There's no reason for it. I'm very familiar. I'm from Charlotte, and it's a 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
All you got down there is Carowinds. Mm-hmm. And after Carowinds, it's just a bunch of meth.
Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah. There's a lake. This is just something stupid. There's a lake in South Carolina called Drug and Alcohol Abuse Lake. And it's right next to a rehab center, so I think that's why they named it that. But what if not a great encapsulation of all that South Carolina is? Drug and Alcohol Abuse Lake.
It's a reservoir in Richland County, the size of the lake, and it's a big ass lake.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I'd love to go fishing there just to say I went fishing on Drug and Alcohol Abuse Lake.
Oh man, every time we search something up, it's more work for me to do in the edit. You can't touch that anymore. Yeah, well,
we need a Jamie.
I would love a Jamie. I would love a Jamie, but you can't get a Jamie until you got views.
True. Yeah.
We're making it happen.
We're doing it live. We're making it happen.
We are making it happen. What a great episode. Brady, yeah. I want you on the show.
Go on, Brady. We want you on the show.
It's like this balance because I want everybody on the show.
Yeah.
And I feel I feel insecure. I feel like people will think that they're not special because I want everyone on the show. But the whole idea is to make everyone feel special.
Yeah.
It's like an impossible goal. But well, I mean, impossible goals are the goals to have.
Exactly. You got to aim for perfection knowing that you'll never reach it. And then you'll be set.
I used to make people feel really special because they would early on. I would have high school and they'd have 500 views.
Yeah,
and that was crazy. At that point, I felt like I wasn't even worth making people that special. But now it's the scales have tipped, and I'm like, wait, I'm worth like 20,000 views.
Yeah,
but I'm only getting 60. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Can I get a? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
What's some funny stories from teaching kids at soccer, man?
Oh, I just started, but they're just so fun. It's just you're teaching little humans, right? And we don't even think about this a lot of times. I remember when I first went up there and kind of was when you first come up for the position, they make you teach like a little. They make you do like a little drill, right? And so my drill was I wanted them to focus on kicking the ball with the right part of their foot. And so like being mindful about when we do pass, how are we passing it to people? Are we passing it with the front of our foot or passing it with the side of our foot? And I told them to get in a circle around me. And then afterwards, the coach was like, you got to remember, a lot of these kids don't even know what a circle is. And I'm just thinking, you're right. You don't even think about that. But these are just little people coming up from scratch. And like, they are, they're here for it. They're stoked. They're excited. And it's really fun working with them. They're great. I've always enjoyed children. I want to have children of my own. I'm a family man, a family guy, if you will. But it's been really fun. No funny stories yet or anything like that. Just kind of, kids being kids.
They got Packapalooza going on right now.
What's that?
Really? No idea?
No.
That's crazy, bro. Hillsborough Street's completely blocked off.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
The whole thing.
The whole thing?
Yeah, down by the bell tower, there's a giant stage.
Oh, dang. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's free. You just walk right in.
Okay.
Yeah, no cars, and it's like, I'd say like...
So, is it happening tonight?
It's right now.
Oh, it's happening right now.
And tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
My friends were going to go to a concert. I think it's like a Tool cover band or something. And if that's where they're going to be, then I might go out there because that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, they didn't say where?
They didn't say where. They just said, do you want to come? And I was just kind of like, I ain't got no money right now, so I'm just going to say no. But, I mean, if it's free, I'll go.
Money sucks.
Money does suck. It really does.
I went out and spent $30 on McDonald's last night.
Yeah.
It ain't good.
Yeah. No, the one thing that runs me dry is beer and apple cider.
Yeah, I let go of the beer, but it's like that won't, like, if you want to save money and you're like, I'm gonna save money by not drinking beer anymore, that's not gonna save you money.
Yeah.
You're just gonna start buying McDonald's. Like, you will find, like, if spending money is your problem, you have to not spend money.
Well, it's all about being mindful because a lot of people think of like fundamentally what happens when you take a drug. It releases dopamine. When I hit this,
it looks like it's fun. I hit my last vape when I was like 16.
Yeah.
I remember, dude. And like I started in middle school and it used to feel like we'd be in the bathroom and that shit used to make you fucking elevate.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, it releases dopamine, right? That's the core thing of what's happening. All drugs in some way release dopamine or serotonin. Those are the two happy chemicals, right? And what happens with gambling? You're not doing a drug, but it's this repetitive motion that's keeping you filled with dopamine, just like eating fast food. Literally anything can become addiction. And I don't think we talk about that enough. Anything. Sex, porn, fast food, women.
Dude, that's why I think my next relationship has such big potential, because I have quit porn and quit jacking off, and that has something to do with my future partner. But I'm locked in the sense of like, I'm not letting myself become addicted to any. And there will never be a girl again in my life that I will ever be addicted to. Mm-hmm. And because I don't think a girl wants to be addicted.
No one wants to be addicted.
It's bad.
One. Yeah, exactly.
What's codependence? Is that the word for it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's bad.
Exactly.
It's so bad. And love, what you really want, is the kind of thing that develops slowly over decades.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's slow building of trust.
Well, I've gotten to the point where I'm off all dating apps.
Stay off.
I went down to the coast, and I was really into the dating apps, trying to get it right.
I can come back on.
Well, yeah. Well, I think it's the time and the place. Right?
Yeah, the way I do it is I download them, I get one date, and if it doesn't work out, they're gone again. And I try to get that date as fast as possible because just like you can get stuck on that, that just the swiping and the messaging.
Yeah,
it kills you.
Yeah,
it kills you.
Yeah.
It just kills you.
Well, I just kind of had, so at first I was like really wanting a relationship, and I was like, I would have been codependent. And then I kind of had it, I stopped, I was mindful, and I kind of thought like, I'm drinking every day. Right. And I still definitely drink more than I should. Right.
But that's like necessary. I think that's off topic. Weirdly. I don't think that's a problem.
Well, here's how I put it. I date myself if I were in the opposite.
I don't think
that's not the problem. Of course.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of things I noticed. I noticed that I think the biggest thing is that I wasn't happy being me. I wasn't happy by myself. And I think so that's why I deleted all the dating apps, because I realized I need to work on my own mental health. I need to work on feeling happy with yourself, because if you're not happy with yourself, then you're always going to try and find happiness outside of yourself. And when imagine like you had a girl and their sole purpose in life was you. It sounds great for a little bit, but then exactly.
That's
then you're
the kind of thing when you see guys treating their girlfriend like shit. It's probably because all the girlfriend wants is to see them all the time.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes
that really is the makeup. Honestly.
Sometimes there's just some shitty people out there, but like, and because a lot of people, and I think it's sometimes where a lot of people are so afraid to be alone that they hitch themselves with the person that they're not going to. That's what it is. You need to be okay with being alone. And it's never going to be the funnest thing. It's always going to be funner with somebody else. But if you're not okay being alone now, then that's not going to change in a relationship. You got to figure yourself out first before you can, like, because in a relationship, they'll go, I think
you're ready.
Yeah. I hope so.
I think we're both ready.
Yeah. We just got to, and now you just kind of have to wait for it. You have to wait for that right person to come along.
And when that happens, you got to breathe.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
And just
breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. Mm-hmm. Allow them to be whoever the hell they are. All right. And you don't got it. Like, I feel like it's like, you're like, oh, should I leave? Should I stay? I don't want to hurt. No.
Be yourself.
Yeah,
that you know, yourself. Your parents say it all the time.
Be yourself.
And when you're a kid, it's hard to be yourself.
Yes.
But like, you know, if you are presenting yourself as somebody else, you're not going to keep that up forever. So why would you expect a person to fall in love with a different version of you and then stay when it's not the same version? And so one of my whole things is like, one of my hard lines is I'm not going to date somebody that's not willing to listen to me rant about history for an hour. And I'll listen to them rant for an hour. I'll date
anybody.
Right? Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's, you know.
I think for me right now, what I'd love the most is for a girl to ask me on a date.
I mean, who wouldn't love that?
Yeah.
But that's we're guys. It's hard to ask somebody out on a date.
Oh my God.
That's one of the most nerve-wracking. Yeah.
It is. I don't care what you do. I don't care what. It is violent.
Yeah, it sucks.
Dude, it's like harder than anything. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I don't know, like as it like to relate it to like a man speak, like picture like, I don't know, hoisting 1,000 pounds over your head.
Yeah.
It's harder than that.
But you just got to get it done, right? You got to rip that Band-Aid off and like.
I'm due. I have to ask a girl out on a date in person.
And because the whole thing is like, because here's how I've gotten to the point of, if I ask somebody out and they sit there and laugh at me, it's like, okay, you're shallow, you're vain. Okay, that's not really going to get you anywhere. I'm just glad I didn't date somebody who's fucking shallow and vain, right? We got over that like instantly.
No,
right?
that's what hurt me, man.
Well, it hurts, but like you just kind of have to. It's again being mindful of where that emotion, that hurt is coming from. Is that hurt valid? Is it because sometimes shit hurts when it shouldn't, right? And
I don't think so. I think stuff hurts when it should.
Well, I feel like sometimes that we can feel because it's. I would agree with you there. Stuff hurts when it should, but it's noticing the amount of hurt that's happening, right? Like if somebody, it's, how do I put it? It's kind of like anger. It's just kind of like, why is this happening? Figuring out why it's happening and kind of like going forward with that, if that makes sense. Like there is always going to be hurt. You're never going to get away from that. If you're in a kitchen and you think you're never going to cut yourself, you're wrong. Right? Anybody who's worked in a kitchen long enough has cut themselves. I've cut myself fishing, right? And it's that hurt is always going to be there, but you just kind of have to do it. And that hurt and that's the thing, you see this pretty girl and she turns you down and she's laughing at you, and it's like, yeah, in the moment it does hurt, but like in the long term, do you really think that she's going to be happy when this person who is so vain that when her husband is old and, she's not happy anymore like that, do you think that that is a relationship that's built to last? No. So you dodged a bullet. It hurts, but at least it hurt falling on the ground than getting shot with the bullet. You know what I mean?
What do you think about DMing people on Instagram going on a date?
I've never done it. I just haven't really found somebody that on Instagram that I'd be like, oh yeah, I think they'd fuck with me.
There's a couple people that I see that I'm like, damn, this person's really hot.
Yeah.
I don't think about if they fuck with me or not necessarily. It's just like I see pretty girls on my thing, and I'm like, what if I just like I have before.
Yeah.
And I get no response. I get no's.
Yeah.
And then I start to think like, is this bad that I'm someone that's like DMing people? I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, there's different approaches for different people. I'm somebody who, like, I like to have a prior relationship, like, with that person first, just to get to know them. Because, like, while I think looks are important to everyone, like, let's not beat around the bush here. Everyone, to some extent, is vain, I guess you could say. Like, you want somebody who you can wake up and look at and be like, that's the most beautiful person ever. Even if they aren't the most beautiful person ever, but like to you, they are, right? But like for me, something that's like really important is just the way they carry themselves. And so like, especially when I see a girl on Instagram that's like really hot, I'm like, okay, I could message her, but like, I never go and ask for a date straight up. I try and like figure them out first. And I think that's honestly helped me a lot because
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I've avoided a decent amount of situations where I'm like, this would have not worked out at all.
I've become a date asker. It seems better for me.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I believe that there are two different types of truth. That you have like grand truths, right? Like that violence is bad, right? If somebody comes up and, of course, stabs you or whatever, right? The violence has already been committed, but violence is bad. We don't want any violence, right? But then you have your personal truths. What works for you, right? That's not going to be the same for everybody. And those personal truths might be something as infantile as saying, oh, my favorite band is Steely Dan, and I think that Steely Dan is the best band ever, right? And you say, oh, Steely Dan fucking sucks. Those are both true to us, even though they are opinions. But like, I lost my train of thought. Shit.
You were talking about things are both opinions and what works better for what person.
Well, yeah, no.
I would become a date asker.
Well, if that works for you, then that works for you. But that's just something that probably doesn't work for me. I'm not somebody to just go out and start asking for dates, right? It's what works for you. And
so let's try and sell each other. What does work for you?
I usually only start like getting feelings for somebody that I know like on a personal level. And so like I definitely have to have that friendship first.
So where do you where is your community? Where do you find people?
Just when I'm out. Typically, I've found a lot of community in typically where I work. There's always that fine line, like what Noah was saying when I was last here. They're not coming in to see me. They're coming in to do their job. But typically, when you are working with somebody, you can get to know them on like a much deeper level. You can have those conversations and be like, yes, no. Right.
And there's I feel like work brings out a big attraction thing.
Oh, for sure.
It's a constant, like you're moving.
Yeah, and well, not even that. You're there with them every fucking day.
But it's not like school. School you're sitting still. It's like when you work, it's like you're exercising your muscle all day long, and like she's man. What's your job?
I'm doing the youth soccer coach right now, but that might change. But that's currently what I'm doing. I
mean, it's just like that's out walking around like that. That makes it that it doesn't matter who.
All my coworkers are men, so I'm not really on the prowl out there.
However you swing, brother.
But like in the past, I've definitely fallen for people I've gotten like close with at work, or even then just like at school, just like, because for me at least, it's easier to just come up and ask a girl for her number and be like, hey, I need help on this. And then just kind of like start that conversation from there.
Instead of asking for her phone number?
Yeah. And we'll ask for the phone number, but just be like, hey, like, do you like just can you help me with this? And if the friendship develops, it's meant to be. Why force something that isn't meant to be?
Well, I don't see it as forcing. I don't see it as forcing. Let me pitch this to you.
Okay,
I don't see it as forcing at all. I see it as being open and honest and respectful of another's time. I think what you describe as like, maybe you could help me with this, like that actually could be very valuable if you're not necessarily sure if you like the person or not. But I like to root myself in the understanding of like, when I see someone, I immediately know if I'm attracted to them or not.
Yeah.
And I don't like this game of like, find like the most attractive girl of all time and like I think a lot of dudes just have got this wrong, and like the internet makes it really bad, and it's like, find someone that's pretty, and with time they become the most pretty person in the world to you.
Yeah.
And it like, that's what, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I've definitely had like people I've worked with, and like the decisions that they make them more attractive.
Oh my God, yeah. Like the way that they handle
business. If they're responsible, or if they're like, if they have their shit together, like that's a big turn on.
They become hotter.
Like, exactly.
Yeah.
And so like,
because you picture, I mean, it's like instinctual. It's like, this person would be great at like being in a family.
Exactly.
Like, holy shit, like this woman would be fantastic.
When I see a girl who is good with children, that is like, oh my God, she is instantly hotter. But if I see the like baddest chick ever, and some kid goes up and is like, you're really pretty, and she's like, get away from me. That is the ugliest girl in the world to me, and I do not care about her anymore.
Or if she's super hot, but she just can't figure out how to work a cash register and talk to a customer.
Right, it's
like, I don't know if we're gonna work.
No, exactly.
Because like, people exist.
And I'm somebody who believes that there's somebody for everybody, and it's just kind of like having to find that. But for me personally, I don't care how hot somebody is. I can't stay in a relationship with somebody who is like not interesting to me. So that's always what I try and get first. You know, of course, I'm, you know, if I do have intentions and it's like a pretty girl, I'm gonna try and like become closer with them. But for me, at least, because like I believe that like relationships and sex are like one of those things where it's like spiritual and physical.
I think for me, it's gonna have to be like a year and a half before I have sex with a person that I start to date. And that might be the reason that we end up splitting, but that's a me thing.
No, but it's good to have those boundaries.
Because I think that sex has ruined things for me before. Like, it's ruined.
100%.
It's horrible. Sex is something that I want with a partner, and I see like I see these clips of like people that I really look up to, like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Dude, he has sex with his wife every day.
Yeah.
It's like part of his routine. But and like
he's getting some.
He only hints to it, and he shouldn't at all. He should keep it. But like, I don't know. It's like certain moments in press conferences I've seen like one, maybe like it's a one clip that I'm thinking of, and it's like sex is really important. I feel like for me, and it is something that I want, but it's also something that I feel that I would need to prove to myself that I could go without.
Yeah.
You know, because there might come a time where my partner does not want it.
Yeah, of course.
All for the rest of our lives, and that I can't. I need to make sure that like this person, like
you need to be happy with being alone because if you're happy with being alone with yourself in every aspect, you'll be happy with being alone in yourself in some aspects, right? Yeah. And so it's really just kind of like. And I think with the relationship, you want to find that person that's that balance, right? Because it's not all about sex, but it's also not all about like the relationship. You do have to have that interconnectedness, right? I mean, like, name another time you were inside of another human being.
February.
Like you
3rd.
What?
February 3rd.
Oh, you're talking about the last time. Oh, okay.
What are you talking about? Like when I was like being born or something?
No, well. I mean, kind of, yeah. But my whole thing
it wasn't spiritual.
It wasn't. Well, like, so with sex, it's like that's the closest you can become with somebody that like isn't your mother. Of course, you were connected to your mother. Like, it's really hard to get that, of course. But like, I think there is that aspect of it, and it's like when you drink and you have like maybe 1 or 2 or 3, and you're a little bit loose. That's a positive thing, but that can quickly go into. I'm abusing this. This has become an addiction. And it's the same thing with sex, right? It's important to find that balance. It's important to say like, hey, these are my boundaries. Like, I think that's an awesome thing that you're willing to say, hey, I'm putting this off. I don't want to do this quite yet. That's good. That's
green flag, some might say, for the men's side.
I'd say that's a green flag.
It gets very like man and woman kind of thing. And we're supposed to be equal, but I feel like if a girl's telling her friends about you, she's like, "Yeah, he said he just wants to wait. He just likes to spend time with me." That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's a green. Yeah,
say, so I'm trying to be.
Well, it's I think also in this modern day, especially with porn, I feel like because the thing about men is that I think that we are definitely influenced by because we're animals. We're influenced by our like primal stuff, and men are specifically developed to have as many children as possible.
I'm an animal,
right? We're all animals.
Seriously, in a different life, who's that one guy that like is responsible for like 30% of the gene pool?
Genghis Khan.
God damn, every guy wants to just be Genghis Khan. Like society has like everything. There's money and things in place and like all this. But like, are you telling me you wouldn't like to travel around the world and just have sex with literally everyone you possibly could? Guys do
consensually. That. I'd like to do it consensually.
Oh,
personally.
that's true.
Yeah. He didn't get to 18.
Well, bro, look. This is Nick Fuentes moment. Okay. And I don't think that. Look. This is why. Okay. I don't believe deep down that he actually, at the deepest parts of his heart, thinks that, and this is crazy because you know what I feel like I sound like? I feel like I sound like the Jeffrey Dahmer's like girl lawyer or like OJ Simpson's lady friend.
I don't feel like he would have done it deep down, right?
Yeah, like he didn't mean to. Like I know I sound crazy, but I feel like I see myself in him so much that it's impossible. Like he doesn't actually truly. Like he would.
I think that's the parasocial connection, though. I'm somebody of the opinion.
You're probably right.
I think he's a lot worse than what he leads on because his whole goal is to be palatable. I've heard him talk with multiple people. Like he believes in a white ethno state with like only white people. What his ideal government is a Christian monarchy, a Catholic monarchy. So he wants there to be a Catholic king that imposes Catholic rules on like everybody else, but. He leads you in with these kind of like less like, oh, we're going to talk about America first, right?
Which is such a great title.
Well, you know where
I'll put America first every day.
Well, you know where that came from? The first people to say America first were the people who didn't want to enter World War I and they wanted to stay, or World War II, and they wanted to stay out of it because they didn't want to deal with the Nazis.
Really?
And so while there were definitely a lot of people who were just like your average day, like Joe, who were like, hey, I just want to protect my country. I don't think we should be getting into a war with this. There were a lot of people that were saying America first because they wanted Nazism to come into America. Wow. There's a really good political cartoon that Dr. Seuss made about it.
Oh, he made some dark stuff.
Oh, he made some dark stuff. Yeah, Dr. Seuss is interesting.
Okay, but do I have to hate him?
I think you can love everybody but disagree with what they say.
Well, I think I could just not love him.
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
I don't want to hate him.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to hate him if you don't want to. I hate the things he says. I think that he could be a better person, but I just despise what he says, right?
Oh, could I love him but not agree with what he says?
Well, yeah. I mean, I love my father, but he's like into QAnon,
you've
right?
To me.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you've gotten to me.
Oh, okay.
You've gotten to me. Because I was gonna say we were talking about Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, dude, raping is raping.
But that's how it kind of was how it was in the past. But like I feel like the great thing about humanity is we have these urges, but like as time has gone on, we've been able to work through them.
Yeah.
And so there is instinctually a tribalism in us where I am more likely to go with people who look like me because in our minds, people who look like me are more likely to act like me. And it's the pattern recognition. That's what's kept us alive for so many years. These Neanderthals over here, they don't look like me. They don't have the same interest as me. They don't want what's good for me because I want what's good for my group and they want what's good for their group, and we're at odds because we want to have resources. But we've also been able to push past that. We're the only species that lives in structures like over our head. We're the only species who drinks another species' milk.
Oh my god,
right?
Yeah,
we're weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah, and kind of to what I was saying in the other episode where diversity makes us stronger, I think we can come over that tribalism to extract the genius in everybody, to kind of tie everything up in a bow. Everyone has that genius, and even though it might not be expressed in ways that are traditional, like some people might not have as high of an IQ, but that doesn't mean they're not genius in certain ways. And I think that when we have these rigid structures of testing, and because like
great subject.
Yeah. when we have these rigid structures of testing, a lot of people fall through the cracks because at the end of the day, everything is based off of profit. Everything is based off of money. The reason the school system is set up the way it is to provide companies.
And I don't think either one of us would say that we could make a better system. Money's going to do great things for us.
Yeah.
But I do think that we both agree that it has to be challenged.
Yeah, I think it has. I think that you can be critical of capitalism without being anti-capitalist.
Yeah,
right?
and Nick, when you say palatable, because Nick Fuentes, he fits in this perfect niche where it's like 50-50. Half people hate what he says, half people love who he is. And it's like, I think what you taught me today is that I don't need to repeat what he says to have the charisma that he displays. Yeah, I think what I most find appealing and compelling about him, he was sent to me just recently. I'm new to the train, like a month and a half ago, 2 months, by a friend, and my friend and I, we love the guy, but I think I'm gonna hold back on. I don't know. I think I still love the guy, but I don't think I love him to the point where like I do. Like there's these structures of thinking where like I'm quick to want to be like, you know, we talk about Genghis Khan and you're like, whoa, well, you know, he raped black people, and I'm quick to be like, it is what it is, because I can picture like that clip and like that, like I'd move towards like that palette, because it's all money. I just really like how he seems very, very in tune with. He's our age, I think.
I think roughly, yeah.
Yeah, and it's great. I feel like it's awesome to see somebody our age with a following, and a sense of like he's very much like it's a show. Yeah, people don't like. I think a lot of people say no to this sort of thing because like I see their stories on social media. It's hilarious. Yeah, they're so funny, but they don't like. That's just very controlled. It only is a private story and it's only 20 seconds. Yeah, like they don't like. This is such a big jump. Yeah, a 1 hour plus. Like this is huge. Yeah, like I don't want that all out about me. So what do you think? Knowing me, how do you think that because I do believe in a split audience. I do believe half of my audience is going to hate me. Of course. Yeah. Half is going to love me. Yeah. So what do you think? Where do you think the hate's going to come from? Because I want to lean into it almost. I think that's a big way to sort of become who I'm trying to become. Like what about me? Like.
But if you lean into the hate, we talked about this earlier. You are what you do.
Well, so I would lean into that as much as I would lean into, you know, it's only natural. I would but I think if I had to say something, it might be, it's hard. I think this is an obstacle because I continuing to do this, you realize that like I'm marketing myself. Yeah. You know, like there's a line that I draw in between turning the camera on and off. And it's like, what does my face display when you see it on your, like, what do you think when you see my face? Yeah. And one out of every two people is going to see my face and be like, this motherfucker. So what is going to make them think this motherfucker? Because all my life I've always been so making sure that all people, for the most part that I can tell, are accepting of me. I haven't had to love me. I've gotten the love. There are people that come and they comment over and over again, but the hate is lacking, and I think that's a big thing. Like where
I'd say kind of like, because I think Nick Fuentes is somebody who drives the hate, because like I do think that more people hate him than like him. Typically, so he's been banned from like most conservative events just because of purely what he says. He's banned
from YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And
so like, look at all the most popular people, right? I think a really good example of this is PewDiePie, right? I'm pretty confident that PewDiePie does not share a lot of my political beliefs, right? I probably disagree with him on a number of things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'd say
where does he lean? I never knew.
Well, he just kind of seems more like center right. And I don't think he's a bad guy or anything like that. I think so.
But he's not American.
Well, he's more, he's more of a family man. I don't have for sure on this, but this is just kind of my thought process, right? But like he will do things that he just thinks is funny. Like when he sent those, I think he sent there are these kids on Fiverr from Africa or like India, and they'll read out whatever you type them, and he got him to say like Hitler did nothing wrong or something like that, because that was just like funny to him, and undoubtedly it was kind of funny, but he got a lot of hate for that. But like I feel like with Nick Fuentes, he's intentionally trying to ring that bell. I think you should just be positive, but also embrace the haters. Not necessarily positive. Do what you think is right. Talk about what you think is correct, right? And then there are always going to be people that disagree with you, but lean into that. Maybe have one of them on the show, right? Like have those disagreements, and kind of like I feel that you can cultivate that like those hate watchers without necessarily like trying to agitate them. They'll agitate themselves, right?
Yeah.
Focus on the people who care about you, and the people who don't care about you will come out the woodwork because they don't want to see you happy.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Do you want an apple pie from McDonald's?
I'm good. I got lunch waiting for me at home.
A cookie? Okay, I don't want to keep you.
Nah, I'm good. Okay. I appreciate it though.
You want to go eat right now?
Sure. I can go. I mean,
we can end it. No problem.
Sure.
All right.
How long has it been?
Over an hour.
Okay. No, then I'll go ahead and go get some lunch.
But okay. All right.
I'll be back on again. We can do more episodes.
I love you to death.
Yeah, this is great. I enjoy challenging conversations. Not challenging, but like interesting.
Your camera's gonna be missing for a lot.
It's fine. Yeah.